This is Diana and welcome to Crafted Sweetly. In this video, I want to show you some fun things you can do with watercolor for Christmas ornaments. So I'll be using watercolor paper and then just various dies that I already have. But I do have a link below for all these dies in case you like a particular pattern and you want to have that same one. But again, you can use really any die that you have to create these. So the ones I'm showing you are with Card Making Magic. I do love these kinds of dies just because there's so many of them, and like in this set, all these dies are included. But out of this, I'm going to use this particular die. So I'll use this from the Card Making Magic. And then I'll do one from this as well. A whole bunch of different dies. This is a little bit smaller. So I'll use this die for here. Just this one. And these are... this is the fancy nesting hexagons. The other one was a different panels and lovely layers collection. So I'll use these. I have one from Anna Griffin, and I'll do a couple of different ornaments using these. And again, these are all with watercolor paper. The watercolor paper that I'm using is this Ready Cut watercolor paper, and as far as the size, it's the 8x10. So once I have the watercolor paper cut, I'll try and fit as many of the dies onto one card as I can, just so to maximize the cutting on it. So I'll use this from Anna Griffin as the first one, and I'll put some repositionable tape on here just to make sure that these don't shift in the machine when I cut them. I used some masking tape or some of the Blue Painter's tape to hold the sandwich together, so that way I don't have to keep messing around with it every single time. I just pick up the whole thing as one, and I'm gonna put it on top and cut it out. So as you can see now, I've cut out this, and there may be some hanging pieces, but the machine does really do a nice job of cutting through the watercolor paper. Then I'll use another one to cut out fan. This is the two pieces and the outline will cut around it. And then I'll fit this in here. I can fit this as well. So I'll cut both of them at the same time. So once you've cut out the watercolor paper with your favorite dyes, and again, you can use whatever dye you would like, you can color it. In order to color this with watercolor, it's best that you prime the watercolor paper so that it has water on it and it makes the paint kind of run out as you work with it. And I do this on both sides. And then just choose what colors you want to use for this. And with this watercolor set, I like that I can create a template on here so that I can see what the colors would look like on paper. Okay, so there would be this. Now if you wanted to, you can add some different color in the center here, and I'll add a little bit of yellow. Perhaps right at the edge here, I'll add just a little bit of gold. Okay, so there's that side, and I will repeat this on the opposite. So once you've done both sides, then there you go. So what I'll do is I'll attach a little bit of ribbon right here, but that would be your first ornament. Okay, for the next one, I'm going to use these Christmas trees that I cut out, and I do want to score them because I will glue them together once I fold them. So I want to draw a score line right down the middle. So in order to do that, I'm going to use as far as scoring. So that's my point right there. Score buddy here, and I'm going to line this up to make sure that the line goes right down the middle. And I just marked it so that when I fold it, it folds right down the middle. So once you've scored it, just bend it to make sure that it folds right along the bend there. Now for this, before I paint it, I do want to glue these together, and the reason I'm doing that is I want to make sure that as I paint this portion of it, for example, I'm going to do a little darker at the bottom and then going up sort of an ombre effect. I don't want to do some of it and then it's not going to match up. So I'd rather glue it first, plus the paper won't be wet. So I'm using art glitter glue. Then I will take this side of it and match it up and glue it here. And now I want to add glue to both of these sides and then put this one in the middle. So now that I've put glue there, I'm going to get this flattened in there. And it's easier if you do one side to make sure it matches up, and then do the other side. And then you can kind of press in the middle. So for the Christmas tree, now that it's glued and dried, I'm going to, again, wet this lightly. And then the bottom, I'm just going to do a little bit of brown for the trunk. So there you have that one. And again, I think adding different shades of green just adds to the interest on the ornament. Now this one is similar to the Christmas tree, but I'll be gluing 4 of them together. So same thing, I want to make sure I'm lining up this, and this actually helps because it has a flat side for this particular one. Okay, and there's the bend. And I'll use the art glitter glue again to glue these together. And just press really well to make sure that all the sides are attached. So for this one, we can certainly color this different sides on different colors on each side, so you don't have to stick with the same design on each one. And this last one, just because not all Christmas ornaments need to be red and green, I think I'll make it really fun and just do different sides for different colors on each side. Okay, so there's that ornament, and it's all made out of watercolor paper with the tie-dye effect in the middle. And I'll prime the paper again. Now for this one, I will color the snowflake, and I think I'll go with the blue with this, and then add the color to it, and you can see it kind of spreads. And then the reverse, because this is gonna be on the inside, I'm just spreading out the excess paint on the back. Okay, and then do the same thing for the other piece. So to finish this one off, I'm going to attach them like this, and I'm going to use 2 foam squares actually to give it a little more depth. So I'm gonna take 2 of them and put them together. And then we'll glue this on top here. And you could line them up or you could do it offset. It's up to you. I'll do it offset because it'll add more interest to the snowflake. And for this last one, I'm coloring these poinsettias for a different design. So again, I'll wet the paper slightly, and you'll find that because this paper was put through the die cutting machine, it doesn't absorb water as well as if you hadn't done that. So just something to keep in mind. It's more of a fuchsia hot pink color to this one. Okay, and then we'll just let these dry. So we'll do it like this. Now for this one, I'm going to put brads in between, and then I'll tie a string so that they're hanging like this. So I'll take this and put a hole in the middle of each of these flowers, and then I'll do a brad right in the middle as well. And then I'll put the brad right in the middle, and using that same tool, I will scrunch this. Okay, so that's the center of the flower right there. So now it created a finished look to it that way. So for this first one, I've just taken some string and I'm going to attach this to the top so that you can hang it on the tree. So for this, I added the string in between, and then these attached them just at the top, and then this one I just tied the string with some spacing in between so that when it hangs, it's like this. Okay, and then the Christmas tree, of course. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. Can't wait to see what your creations will be using these techniques with watercolor. Thanks so much again for watching, and we'll see you next time.